Peter Seligmann, one of the founders of modern conservation. He's in the country for the North-South Speaker Series. He says we need to move away from conservation being funded by philanthropy and make it a private capital infrastructure investment. What exactly does that mean? He's the founder of Conservation International, and we're delighted to have Peter at the desk with us this morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Great
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. First of all, what are you doing in the country? What brings you here?
I'm just trying to learn more about the opportunity in Aotearoa, New Zealand, to restore native forests and to kind of establish the protection of nature as a market opportunity.
So that's what you're talking. That was going to be one of my questions. Give me an example of something I can invest in that's nature, that's going to give me a return and help the planet.
Well, the most obvious is the restoration of native forests. And the reason would be you plant native forests, they capture carbon, there's a carbon market, you can sell the amount of carbon that you capture as a carbon credit on the marketplace. But in addition, when you plant the native forest, you restore native species, and those native species are what give you the resilience that's required to deal with extreme climate shifts. I mean, you need genetic diversity and resilience if you're going to respond to what lies ahead. It's also, protecting pollinators, restoring watersheds, and all of those are essential for supply chains, for farmers, for communities that need fresh water. And so what we look at is, if you look at what nature provides, how do you actually create a marketplace where investors can invest in restoring that and make some money as those provisions and regulating functions of nature become healthier.
Okay, fair. Problem with native forests, and they take so long to grow.
They do take long to grow.
Thousands of years sometimes.
No, not thousands of years, but maybe 20 years.
Well,
that's true.
Yeah.
It takes a while to grow.
A Cody tree takes a while.
Excuse me?
A Cody tree can take a while.
Yes, as it grows, it captures carbon. It's taking carbon every single day. It's bringing carbon into the atmosphere, and it's taking carbon out of the atmosphere, putting it into soil, putting it into a tree. So it's an immediate, and it they grow slowly, they last long, and they produce enormous benefits, many more benefits than a pine forest. Because you have to have that diversity. I mean, if you think about what New Zealand was and where it's going, you want to make certain that the natural ecological systems remain functioning and healthy. It affects the fish that we need to eat, the water that we need to drink, the biodiversity that gives us resilience, the pollinators, and that's why we look at nature as an investable asset class.
One of the problems we've always had in New Zealand with this, in terms of this argument, is that we've got farmers, dairy, sheep and beef, who we rely on. I mean, they are doing the heavy lifting for us as a country economically. So there's always been this tension between the two.
It's not purity. I mean, it's not purity, and it's not that you do not have. Obviously, you need beef, you need sheep, you need ag, and you need to understand the relationship between a healthy forest that produces the goods that I've described, and also the other needs that we have. And so it takes wise, thoughtful planning. That's all it takes. Really thinking about this long term, not short term.
How do you get on with these debates in Montana?
In Montana, it's the same debate. It's the same debate. In our ranch, we ranch there. We've been there for years. We grow cows. We grow cows and we restore forests. And when we get rid of the forest, we have massive flooding. So we need the forest to protect our ranch and protect our soil. And this is not just a New Zealand issue. This is a global issue of what's the right balance between production and protection. And if you can mix them together, you actually have a solution that will last. We have not focused on mixing them together. We've been really driven by, we need to produce, and we think short term. And that's what we have to overcome. This is a long-term issue. This is so important for your children, because you don't want them to inherit a New Zealand that's 100% pine forest, slash and burn, erosion. You just don't want that, right?
Yeah, and particularly the pine forest annoys everybody. It annoys the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, but I love cows.
Well, there'll be a lot of people who'll be pleased to hear you say that, Peter. Hey, a little birdie told me that you're friends with Harrison Ford. Is it true?
Harrison has been a friend of mine for many decades. He's one of the smartest most gracious and good souls. He was the best man in my wedding. And when we had trauma and tragedy in our family, he's the one that shows up first. He's a great human being.
That's lovely. And also another claim to fame, I said Montana, but Yellowstone River.
We live on the Yellowstone River. We ranch on the Yellowstone River, and it's a good place. It got a little more fame because of a TV show.
A little bit?
But come visit. You'll love it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Lovely to have you here this morning. Thanks so much for being with me, and all the best for the speaker series.